Fear is an uncomfortable emotion that we sometimes get when we believe that something or someone is going to hurt us, cause us pain in some way, shape, or form. Phobias come from different sources. Many of the phobias that we see, though, come from a specific incident or a set of experiences that a person has had where they were hurt or they were really close to being hurt in some way, and so they have a emotional and a physical, sometimes a physical reaction. There are 3 patients here that I'm going to see today and talk with them about overcoming their phobias.
The thing about the dark that scares me the most would probably have to be the fact that I can't see, and so I don't know where I'm at or what I'm fixing to run into, so I just gotta kind of guess, and it makes me nervous. To be a terrible blind person. I'm Molly Brewer, and I'm afraid of the dark. I don't remember not being afraid of the dark. All kids are scared of the dark because it's the dark and you're a kid. My fear of the dark most likely did come from my siblings messing with me when I was younger. It's probably where it all started, I guess. And my family they like to go hunting and stuff, and so you'd go hunting in the afternoons and you'd sit when it was daylight and you wouldn't walk back to your vehicle or anything until it was dark. And I don't know, I guess since my siblings were older than me and I was the youngest, it was always they'd mess with me. And I'd be walking in front of them and then I'd turn around and they weren't there, and then they'd just hop out of the bushes, and just scream. It was terrible. There are a lot of things outside. Animals, bugs, homeless people. I don't know, it's just you can't, if it's dark, you can't see any of it. So, anything can come at you at any time. You always hear stuff outside, so it makes me nervous, because I can't see it. The worst part about nighttime and going to sleep and getting ready to go to sleep, it would be I get to my room and I'm all right, I'm safe. And then my bed's right there, and then you gotta reach really far to turn the light off, and then you gotta jump in bed really, really fast. If I don't get into my bed as soon as I turn the lights off, really as fast as I possibly can, I get this feeling that something's gonna get me. Sometimes I don't know, I don't make it, and so I start crying or hyperventilating. That sounds terrible.
Try to imagine everyone in their underwear. I guess it's supposed to help, but I just can't imagine people in underwear. It's kind of weird to me. Yeah, that doesn't really help me. If anything, it probably makes it worse. My name is Nicholas Wilson, and I have glossophobia, which is the fear of public speaking. I remember in kindergarten, I had to pee really bad, and it was nap time, but I was too afraid to raise my hand and ask the teacher, so I ended up peeing in my pants. And my friend who was laying on the floor, he turned to me and he saw a puddle beneath my chair, and then he told the teacher, and I had to go to the bathroom, and they called my parents, and I went home, and I guess they cleaned it up. I don't know.
What do we have space?
Yeah, when I'm at home, I'm normal. I speak normal. I'm usually more outspoken and out in public. It might be just certain circumstances, because I can be around certain friends and I'll talk a lot and just joking a lot and laughing and all that. But in other times I'm just really quiet. I don't know what it is. But when I get up and do like public speaking, that's when it gets really bad, and I'll start thinking in my head like, oh, I'm messing up, and instead of thinking of what I'm trying to say, I'll start thinking I need to fix it, and I'm getting embarrassed, and then my eyes start watering up, and I start stuttering and everything like that, and like I can hear my heart pounding like it's in the speaker or something, and it just gets really bad, and I can't help it. It just butterflies and everything like that. I was in band, and I was in here and doing concerts and stuff like that. Since all the attention, wasn't all of it on me, it was more like the whole band. It wasn't that bad, but it was still pretty nerve-wracking. But having all of it on me would be, I don't know if I can handle that. Especially if I had to give a speech and have it all on me. I don't know. It'd probably be pretty bad.
If I'm with any little kids, like at Chuck E. Cheese or something, and like the mouse comes out, I leave. Or at Disney World, we had to take all different types of alternate like routes and stuff just so we wouldn't have to see them at that time of the day. My name is Morgan Reed, and I have masculophobia. Masculophobia is the fear of people in masks or costumes. When I was little, I really liked the show Barney. And so my parents had a friend who had a Barney costume, so they thought it'd be a good idea to invite him to my party because I would like him and stuff. And whenever they got there, I started crying, and I ran into my aunt's arms and stuff. And I guess because he was just like bigger than I was, and I was really small. And just ever since then, I've been afraid of all different types of mascots and the full body costumes. At football games and stuff, whenever our school mascot comes out and he tries to play with all the little kids and stuff, I get up and I leave and go to the bathroom, or I go somewhere else. I mean, I think it's pretty stupid. Like, a mascot? That's kind of, I don't know. I thought it didn't matter once I got to Disney World whenever we went to go see Mickey Mouse. And then we got in there and I just started crying, and I don't know why. Like, it was just no reason. I just started bawling my eyes out, and like the tears are like hot. Whenever I see a mascot, my heart starts racing really fast, and my body gets like so hot that it's cold, I guess, and I just want to leave. And like, I don't know, it's like a panic attack.
A lot of times fear doesn't make sense. It's not logical. I'm wondering if you think that when you're not scared, that fear doesn't make sense.
I don't think that being scared of the dark makes sense. I think it makes sense to be scared of what's in the dark.
And you don't know what's in the dark.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you think you have friends who are also scared of the dark?
I don't think I have friends that are scared of the dark. My friends aren't scared of anything.
Are you sure?
My friends are heartless.
Okay. Would you be willing to take some small risks to help yourself get through this?
Taking small risks would be okay. Because, like, you could ease into it, but, like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, force myself into it, because then I feel like I'd never get over it anyways.
One of the things you could do is spend just a little bit more time in the dark at home. You can go to a place in your house that's dark, sit on the floor, or just stand in that place for about 2 minutes and notice what's going on inside you. Notice the feelings in your body, notice your thoughts. If you can replace those scared thoughts, if you tell yourself over and over, I'm fine, I'm comfortable, nothing's going to get me. There's no reason for me to be afraid. I'm not afraid. I know, you're lying to yourself, but it's okay. The more you do that, the more, in most cases, the more it's going to get to be a part of the way you actually think. And once you've improved in that area a certain amount, then maybe you can go just right outside your house, not far away, but just right outside in an area where you pretty much know what's there, and start the same thing. Know that, you know, I'm familiar with this place, I'm safe, and I'm going to sit here and see what I can learn about the darkness. And this is kind of maybe going way out there a little bit, but you might even ask, what is it that the darkness can teach me about myself? It's kind of out there, I know, but becoming curious about it can help move you in the direction of not being so afraid of it.
Recently, in my English class, we've been reading Macbeth by William Shakespeare, and I've had to act out or go up and say Macbeth's lines in the play.
Yeah.
And while I'm doing that, I've been trying. I can feel it coming, and I've been trying to fix it and do better, but it still gets to me most of the time.
Are you familiar with the term visualization? Okay. I wonder what it would be like if, let's just say, you had a presentation to do tomorrow and you practiced it at home tonight, and then before you went to sleep at night, you were lying there seeing yourself in a movie inside your head, doing the speech and nailing it, and doing it with all calmness and security, like you were born to do that.
Recently, I had to do one for Macbeth, and I practiced it many times before I had to do it, and I knew all the lines perfectly, but then when I went up to recite it, my mind just like went blank, and I started forgetting some of the lines, and I had to make myself remember, and before I could just do it off the top of my head.
I want to encourage you to kind of practice the visualization. Give yourself positive messages in your head like, I've got this, it's not going to be a problem. I said it 1,000 times last night, just like that, it's going to be fine. And maybe before you start, take 2 or 3 good deep breaths and remember that you did it perfectly last night, and tell yourself you're going to nail it now. Does that mean you're always going to nail it? No. What? Give me just a second here and let me think a bit. This is a new one for me, although I know other people have that kind of a fear. Have you always been afraid of mascots?
Ever since I can remember, but it started at my birthday party when I was little.
That's been quite a few years ago. You felt threatened, but you really weren't. Does that make any difference today with that fear?
Not really. Like, I even know who our mascot is, and like she's in my classes and stuff, and we've talked about it before, and it's just every time I see one, I just can't help it.
You know, one of the common ways that therapists use to help someone with phobias is exposure therapy, where you expose yourself to whatever it is that is causing the fear for small increments of time, and you increase that as the fear gets less and less. About 75% of phobias are helped that way, but not all of them. Your friend that's the mascot here, what if your friend were sitting down at a ball game and you went and sat down, say, 6 feet away from her, where you're not facing, but you're fairly close, and started having a normal conversation? I'd be really interested to see what would happen inside you if you did that, and then if you were able to move a foot closer, still not looking directly, but having her beside you, trying to get an idea of the parameters of the effect that this has on you.
Okay, so Mr. Weeks told me that I needed to sit in the dark and at least try to tell myself that I'm not afraid of it, so I can try and at least overcome my fear. So I'm really scared, but I guess that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I can't see anything. Okay, I'm good. It's getting really hot. Okay, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't think I've ever been so scared right now. I've never willingly just sat in the dark. I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. I'm okay. I'm gonna be fine. I'm alright. I'm so scared I'm shaking. Okay, now that I've been sitting here for a few minutes, it's getting better. It's getting better. But I mean, I'm still really scared. Okay, that's enough of that. Goodness. Being outside right now isn't really as bad as being outside in like dead darkness, because I mean there's lights, there's other people that I know out here, so I can pretty much tell what's going on around me. After sitting in my room in the dark for a few minutes, I tried to see how that would help me overcome my fear. And I mean, it made it easier, not really. Because I mean, I kind of figured out like what it felt like to just sit there and like be aware of the darkness. And then, I mean, I was proud of myself for doing it, but I mean, it didn't really change anything.
Oh God, okay. I don't want to do this. Oh, back out.
Go.
Is it time? Go. Go? Go? Oh. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. My name is Nicholas Wilson, and on behalf of the Grenada High School Division Show Choir, I would like to welcome you all to the spring concert featuring their 2019 competition show called Killer King. There will be DVDs of the performance that are $15. You can buy them or place your order at the table in the lobby. And please be sure and look at the program of the list of the sponsors. We ask that you please turn off all your cell phones during the performance, and please, out of courtesy of the performers, do not leave in the middle of the song. And now I'd like to introduce you to the director of the Vision Show Choir, Jenny Winters. I was really nervous, like I was almost not gonna go out, and then Shauna came and told me that it was time to go, so I made myself go out there and I did it. I think it did help me overcome my fear because I was used to only talking to like a small crowd of people, like a classroom of like 20 or so, but when I did a speech it was like maybe 300 people there, and it was a lot more than I was used to. And so I'm like, if I can do it in this size of a crowd, then I can easily do it in a smaller crowd, like of 20 people or so.
Have you ever been in one of those costumes? Okay. I haven't either. I'm just curious about that. So, what do other people tell you about that?
They told me that it was stupid, that I'm not afraid of it. I should get over it.
How much help was that?
Not very much.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. You're not stupid, by the way. I'm thinking that when that happened to you as a child, it was a trauma. And the trauma is deeply imprinted in your brain and gets triggered very easily. I wonder what would happen if you were to give yourself permission to be scared of it. Say, right now, that's just who I am. Your brain knows it's okay, but your body's still reacting to the old trauma. So when you're scared of the mascot here, what you're really scared of is Barney. It's just transferred into that mascot.
Are you gonna put on the hooves?
The shoes?
Mm-hmm. Is this the right foot? Hoof?
I don't think about it. No, I can't see.
We're gonna step up. Alright. And we're gonna step down. Can you see yourself?
Yeah.
That doesn't scare you?
No.
I mean, I can try to move it.
It's not scary.
Are you really not scared, or are you?
I feel like sitting closer to the mascot and I guess touching it made it easier. Not really putting it on as much.
If you keep doing what you're doing, I think there'll be a time where you kind of wake up one day and realize it's not that big a deal anymore. But that'll come about because you've put in the work, you've put in the practice, and you've developed those skills.
I feel like now that I've been like around mascots more, I mean, I'm a little more comfortable with them, but I don't feel like I'm completely over my fear.
Are you really not scared, or are you?
I feel like I'm completely over my fear. I don't feel like I'm completely over my fear. I 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 feel like I'm completely over
it was like a step forward because I've never talked to a crowd of that size before. But I still think it will always like have that little fear in my heart.
The darkness taught me that I am a very cold, dark, and heartless person, just like my friends.
Just think of it as practice. I'm going to practice giving myself permission to be okay with being scared. I'm going to practice not beating myself up. Practice being kind towards myself. And practice letting go of the worry about it. Practice.